I'd have to imagine that when Warner Brothers initially set the release date for The Flash, they were probably a little bit worried about Disney and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, because releasing only 2 weeks after their movie, it could have really affected the legs and things like that. Well, now, I'd have to imagine that the people at Warner Brothers are thankful for Disney and Indiana Jones, because quite frankly, it took a lot of the conversation about failure and box office disasters away from The Flash, when in reality, we should still be talking about what a failure this movie is. It is a complete and total disaster. It's set to lose over $200 million for Warner Brothers and for DC, and that is enough to give it the title of worst superhero box office bomb of all time. The Flash becomes the worst box office flop in superhero movie history. That is not the kind of record that they were hoping to set, and again, people would be talking a lot more about this if it wasn't for Indiana Jones, because that movie is set to lose likely over $250 million, an even worse flop than we got from The Flash. Two massive blockbuster budget movies that are failing right now. The Flash is now looking at not even breaking $300 million worldwide, because it is flatlined domestically. When you can just see this curve, it's basically a flat line at this point. You can go back, look, July 4th and July 3rd, right, the Monday and Tuesday holiday, just barely cracked $1 million, and now for Wednesday it's sitting there at $247 per theater. That is a terrible per theater average for something that hasn't really been out that long. This movie is dead. It's dead in the water. It's already set for a digital release, and now it is at the top of the trash pile when it comes to superhero flops. The Flash makes the worst kind of history. Given The Flash's paltry box office numbers, the Andy Muschietti-directed DC film has earned the title of biggest box office flop in superhero movie history. Because The Flash's reported $220 million budget, and in all likelihood, it's much, much more than that, and $150 million promo, the movie is likely to lose over $200 million for Warner Brothers, which would be the biggest financial loss suffered by a studio because of a superhero film. And listen, when we go look at this top 10, there's a lot of DC things in this top 10 when it comes to superhero flops. Much was written about the movie box office's shortcomings after its more than 70% drop from first to second weekend, but the third week number means the film was hit with another 62.5% drop from its already dismal second week total. To put it in perspective, even big budget films that were released during the height of the COVID pandemic like Wonder Woman 1984 did not fare as poorly as The Flash. Take a look at this. And I said there's a lot of DC stuff. There's a lot of DC stuff in here. The Flash, over $200 million when it's all said and done. Shazam, which was the thing that was released right before this. Shazam! Fury of the Gods is estimated to have lost $150 million at the box office. Wonder Woman 1984. Now, I will excuse Wonder Woman 1984 and The Suicide Squad. Those movies were released. Again, Wonder Woman 1984 was only released in like 2,000 theaters in the United States. Half of theaters weren't even open yet. And they also released it on the same day on HBO Max. So that was a strategy for them to get Max subscribers. Who knows if that paid off for them financially in the long run, but box office-wise, it was a disaster. But for both Wonder Woman and The Suicide Squad, they both had those release dates on HBO Max on the same day that it released in theaters. Dark Phoenix is number 4 with $133 million. Black Adam, again, The Rock and Black Adam, $100 million. And then this thing rounds out with Fantastic Four, R.I.P.D., New Mutants, and Green Lantern. Green Lantern only lost $75 million. That's the type of disaster we're talking about when it comes to The Flash. And of course, they made the Superman announcement to distract people from that, and now they're very thankful that Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is taking so much of the negative attention away from them at this moment, because this failure is terrible for Warner Brothers and for DC as a whole. Let me know your thoughts about all this in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.